chance. Oh, direct hit was gone. Almost a baseball-style double play, wasn't it? Catch very nearly travelled to Mohamed Mohsen at mid-on. It was the leg cutter, clever piece of bowling. And even though he's dived, I think he would have been out for all money, HD.
Good bit of fielding. This is what you want from your mid-on and mid-off. Even though they were a little bit deep, you want them to tap the ball. And it would have been gone. Would have been gone. Good dive, though.
He's got about 2.5 stumps to aim at there. That's a nice angle, isn't it? That mid-on or straight mid-off angle. I think Neesham thought it was a catching opportunity at first. It came at a lovely throwable height. Now he goes back for Walton. He knows that Walton is strong down the ground. Was up in the circle. Good captaincy this, though. 5 men up in the ring, just applying some early pressure. Oh, just got little shots of a treat we've got coming up, H. We love giving you treats and surprises here on the NPL. Edged very fine, but third man will do the work. I'll field a lot at Rajbanshi. Have to say one thing, I know we spoke about the 3 potential contenders for that player of the tournament. All-rounders, didn't we? The Nepali player of the tournament, that is Irie. Maybe a standout right now. Kushal Malanrao Powell have been knocked out, but got to mention some of those bowlers too, particularly Lanat Rajbanshi. Ishar Mahato's had a good tournament. I love the way Rijan Dakal's bowled, and maybe even Nandan Yadav too.
If you could have a mixture of Rijan Dakal and Nandan Yadav, you'd have the perfect bowler, because Dakal's bowled so beautifully with the new ball, and Yadav has bowled so well at the death with his Yorkers. I think that this fella, Kishore Mahato, has had a good tournament. I really do. And I think his spell is going to be an important one, because I'm not sure they're going to want Harsh Thacker or Sher Malla to bowl much to Chadwick Walton, because I think he might take on the spin. That'll be a wide.
Yeah, Nandan Yadav at the death, HD, has been sensational, and Monty Desai has spoken a few times about him now as to just how impressed he's been. Imagine there's going to be a concerted effort from whether it's Khan or whether it's Monty himself to get Nandan and Kishore back in and around the Nepal setup on a consistent basis. They're both currently in Australia. Bowled again by Neesham, hitting a hard length. Leading edge falling short of point. It's 58 for 3. Tension in both camps right now as Mohsen continues. Okay, we gave you a sneak preview of the previous over. Let's get down to Manali, who's got Monty Desai with her.
Thank you so much, Lenny. Yes, I do have Monty Desai, the senior men's coach of Nepal. Tell us what you think of the Nepal Premier League so far.
Chapter 1, it's adding up to the Nepal cricket story. The fans have been lovely. We have seen Pack House over here in some of the games, and I think it's only going to get bigger every year. So wonderful. It's a festival time for all of us.
Well, especially for you as a coach who's looking for talent. How much of a problem is it now? Because you've definitely found a lot of talent here.
I would say mixed bag at the moment in my view. You know, I would have loved some of the youngsters to step up a lot more consistently with the bat. But yes, with the ball, we have seen many of them putting their hand up. It's good headache to have, and more than me, I think also the management, the national selectors, they will all have a conversation around it, especially for T20 format. Considering that in 2025 we again have to form our team for the World Cup qualifiers.
So are there any specific players that you think are really standing out to you right now?
I would not like to name anyone, to be honest. It will unnecessarily speculate. But good to see some of them, with the ball, especially under pressure in phases, especially in death overs. Some of them who have stepped up and done a wonderful job with the ball. That was good to see.
Now, when you're talking about the team environments, you're having all these international players come in. What sort of impact do you think it's bringing into the locals and changing that culture as well?
That is a big one. We know that how much hard work we have been putting together in our national team, where we are trying to build culture, we are trying to explain them the fundamental values, which helps the team to get even better and shape their image, shape the identity of the team. But I'm sure all these boys who have also been leaders now for different franchises, to rub shoulders with some of the professionals around the world, someone like Sohail Tanvir and Ravi Bopara, for me, they were standouts. Age was just a number for them, just the way they performed, right? And I think overall the standard of tournament, where it leaves an impact, and for all these youngsters to keep speaking to all these players who have come from different countries and have rubbed shoulders with them, I'm sure it will have a huge impact on them to bring out even more going forward for Nepal cricket.
And speaking of culture, you have a real standard of fitness here. What is it that motivates your players, and how is it that you manage them to keep the fitness standards as high as they are?
I'm evolving with them. Okay, so one of the things is that I think fans play a huge role here. That is the biggest motivation for all of us, because we try to live the dreams that they have been dreaming as well. Many of them who have spoken about the fact that now Nepal has an identity through a sport like cricket in the world. It also adds up to the responsibility to us. And I think the players, for them, from their point of view, whatever their dream has been, NPL also is one of the things where you get some of them, they are playing as heroes. We have worked very hard at times physically, but I think mentally to be switched on in moments is where we have lacked. And again, I see that through the way the players are representing different franchises. Some of the faces who have been part of the national team, I don't really think that they have met their own expectations in NPL. So that is also part of the story. And some of the franchises who have been sitting at the bottom of the table, I'm sure they will look at the chapter one, the first year, and how they come back next year. That is something which I'm also looking forward to. Because if every franchise can build some culture around their franchise, it is only going to help the national team.
And listen, reflection is very important. It's very important from a coach and a player's perspective. Now, if you were to pick on at least 3 positives that you take from NPL, what would they be?
One of the most important positive things is that I think the standard of cricket has been decent, pretty good. It will only get better. The other thing which I would definitely mention is the way it's come out to the whole world. I think, again, a lot of known cricketers, someone like Shikhar Dhawan who has come here, Guptill, all of them who have played for their national, Jimmy, for that matter, Jimmy Neesham. All these players are coming here. We'll be inviting a lot more new faces, the more prominent professional faces from around the world in year 2. And it will be another very important thing which we can talk about NPL. And I think also somewhere it has...
I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you for this wicket. We're going to go back upstairs to you guys.
It's not a wicket just yet, but it will be in a moment. It's been sent up to Sanjay Gurung, but Will Basisto knows his fate. He's already walking off. And yet again, HD, it's that bowler who we've left out of the player of the tournament discussion this morning. He's inserted himself back into it. Lalit Rajbanshi at his best.
There's a whole lot of things that are good about this dismissal, particularly the captaincy, because what they've done with Basisto is they moved a man to a very fine 45 on the leg side and took deep square leg and moved him finer and said, we're not going to allow you a sweep shot. And therefore Basisto has had to go down the wicket, which is not his comfortable area. And it's spun past the outside edge, and now we have a real big wicket. And Rajbanshi throws himself into the equation as that local player of the tournament. He's had a good tournament, Will Basisto. Is this the last time we'll see him? He goes for 14, 64 for 4.
And the players.
That we are waving from the under-19 girls, the under-19 boys, and everyone is getting motivated through this tournament. So they see the standard of performance which the international cricket players are bringing in, and if they are following any of their role model heroes of Nepal, how they perform, they are also looking at that. So that is something which I'm really looking as one of the positives. The other thing I would say, the lessons learned. Some of the individuals who might have not done so well in this tournament, but the lessons learned and how they come back and leave an impact in next year's NPL.
Yeah, you do definitely definitely have a lot of positives, and it's great to see the pathway coming up as well alongside the NPL. Okay, here's a big question for you. Who are you supporting between these two, the Yaks and the Bulls?
It's interesting, right? I mean, I see the leaders out there. So, Sompal Kami is one of our senior players in the national team, and he's captaining the Karnalis. So, I'm supporting him. But at the same time, a player like Asif was to step up because of the injury to Anil. I'm supporting him as well. I'd like to see how the Nepali boys fight through these one-ball battles and bring the result across for them.
That's a very diplomatic answer. I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's back to you guys up in comms.
Thank you, Manali. Wonderful listening to Monty Bhai, head coach of the Nepal cricket team. There's an ocean of knowledge. And how well has he got the Nepal cricket team in the last couple of years to push themselves and do wonders for their national team. Gulshan Jha in the middle. Yeah, he's had a good hit in the last couple of games. Yeah, but this is a different situation. A very good afternoon to Darren Goff as well.
Afternoon. He's got some good players to work with, what I've seen, especially in the spin department, and a couple of good batters. Ashari, really impressed by him, how busy he's been in the field with a ball and bat.
And however, this man bowled into his third over. He's taken 2 wickets for 21 runs. He's been brilliant, Lalit Rajbanshi. At the halfway stage, Yaks need a partnership, 67 for 4. Walton. Ulsawala departed early for 1. Bosisto looked good for 14, but he was out to a beauty. Dave Connell to me was looking in sublime touch before he got out. 4 wickets down here for the Yaks. It's a must-win encounter. Remember, the team winning this contest will advance into the final.
Well, indeed. They need Chadwick Walton really to fire and go to the shot. Who's a good player. Go back into the attack. His first over going for 14. This was the previous wicket here. Banshee. Oh, what a delivery that is. Wonderful bit of work as well from the keeper. He was a bit blindsided. Look at that. Turn, bounce, and a comfortable take. And sorry, Basisto, it's time to go. He's had a good tournament, Basisto, and that was a huge, huge wicket for the Bolts.
And that's why this partnership becomes all the more crucial for the Yaks, because I'm not too sure if a lot of batting follows after this. Yes, there's Arjun Gardi. He can bat. Sumpal Khani can hit the big shots as well. But in terms of the depth, Darren?
Well, I think we were all surprised yesterday because this was their biggest score of the tournament, was it yesterday? 175. They've struggled with a bat. They changed the order around yesterday, but it all worked. All the overseas players, the big guns came to the party and all delivered for the Yaks. But can they do it back-to-back days? And so far, they're struggling at 68 for 4.
Edged. He slashes that hard and they'll run away for a 4. Welcome runs here. Walton will be the key batter for the Yaks.
He is indeed. Michael is the key batter, key man. And I do think Parr's that run 60 mark. And if they're going to get anywhere near that, they need this man at the crease. Walton, he scores runs quickly. He was fantastic yesterday. A little bit edgy, but when you get width, you can play the frill. They got 46 not out yesterday off 23 deliveries, by the way. So he needs an innings like that today to help the Yaks get up to the total that'll be defendable.
Yes, absolutely, Darren. And he needs support as well at the other end. And no better man than Gulshan Jha. He takes his time, but once he's set, Gulshan Jha is a very destructive batter.
I don't mind him taking his time in this because what have I always said throughout the tournament? On these pitches, it's important that you give yourself a couple of balls, get a partnership together, and then you can cash in at the end. Not everybody can come in and do what Jimmy Neesham does, comes in from, has a look for a couple of balls, and then he wants to hit sixes. But not everybody can do that. Some people need to have a look, get used to the pace and bounce of the pitch. And as I said in the pitch report, this pitch has got a little bit more bounce than some of the other pitches have had.
Once again, looking to go for that expansive drive outside off. You got to really credit and commend the efforts of the ground staff, the chief curator, Mr. Mamun, but dishing out some very fine surfaces. Remember, all matches that happened at this venue across the square.
Yeah, to have one square and have a tournament on one pitch, well, not one pitch, but one square, lots of different pitches, and keep them fresh and have some good cricket being played. Credit to the ground staff, they've done a wonderful job.
What a passage of play for the Bulls. They batted first yesterday, got 139. So that Pashchim early encounters where they won by 8 wickets. They went on chasing a lot many matches after that. But a lot has changed, Darren, after that. That's because they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. The Janakpur Bulls and the Yaks have won last of their 5 out of the 6 games.
Yeah, I think the Bulls have lost all the momentum, haven't they? They seem to be confused when they're batting. They're relying on one player at the moment, and that's Jimmy Neesham hitting 6s after 6. And with the ball, Rajbansi, he's been excellent for them, and he's delivered again today in a must-win game. 2 for 21 from his 3 overs. He's been outstanding.
A little bit of a speed, but recovers in time. Yeah, you sometimes get the impression that they've been heavily dependent on Jimmy Neesham, but the top order needs to fire now for them. That'll be key. A good turnout today as well for qualifier to a virtual semi-final for both these sides to play Sudur Pashchim Royals in the big final.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Bolts need to fire with the bat. They've got Malanthan at the bat, who always looks good at the crease. Asif Sheikh needs to get runs. It's important he can get some as well. They can't just keep relying on Neesham in that middle order. Insaka yesterday got 26 and 24, but they're going to need more. Depends what they're chasing. The Yaks have got a lot of work to do here. 77 for 4.
Nicely fielded. Spark in the field. And that's what they need to do.
Yeah, I say it looks a good pitch. A little bit of bounce there so you can play your shots. But they're finding it difficult, the Yaks.
He's miscued this one. Fielder running backwards to take the catch, and it's been pounced as well. Very nicely taken by the captain, Asif Sheikh. It is never easy running backwards, and the danger man, Walton, has to walk back. Thakur strikes, and the Karnali Yaks lose half their side.
Well, this is a huge, huge wicket. Thakur in the attack. Walton fancied him straight down the ground. Leading edge. Not easy sometimes on the ball going away from you as a fielder. But Asif Sheikh there, look at the delight on Thakur's face. He knows that's the big wicket for the Bolts. They'll be delighted with that. But sadly for the Yaks, Walton goes for 11 from 13. Oh, they're struggling here. 77 for 5.
Yeah, he's had a couple of 30s and 20s. Arjun Bitalu, best of 33. That came in their very first outing. And that was against the Janakpur Bulls as well. It's been a while since he's got some runs. He's been in and out of the side as well.
But we all have favourite teams to play against. We enjoy. Bolts might just be that team. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, he's off the mark with a single. But what an over this by Harsh Thakur.